thousands of years ago, I was rich enough to basically start calligraphy schools. Like I say, the Chinese or Japanese calligraphy schools, they were calligraphy schools in China, and actually also at the somewhere around the Forbidden City. It wasn't forbidden before. It was only forbidden after something bad happened or something like that. But basically, I think it's because I didn't want the public like the leaders of China kept getting attacked or whatever, and so they needed to be protected. So the best way to protect them, I think, there was something in back then. They know what was going on or something like that, and there were some bad things. I was confused about a few issues, and I was wrong about them a little bit. Like I said, I apologize to China and Japan for anything that I might have ordered or whatever. But I didn't order anything bad to happen to them. I didn't order them to be tortured. I didn't order them to hurt. In fact, I made sure that they weren't. Like I said, anybody who knew my even my jails, they're inspected. People inspected, the cameras go in. Nothing happens that is not, it is all double checked, triple checked, and checked by the public as well as other countries and internally. Like I said, there will not be any lies or any secrets in my civilizations or my planets. Lies and secrets and all that kind of stuff do nothing but cause problems and slow down what is progress. So anyway, that's why when there was allegations of anything bad happening at my Auschwitz sites or any of my sites, I had people go in there. Of course, Nixon and everybody else, they were just using that as an excuse to try and see what I was doing in there and try and get research and then to try and get one over on me or whatever. Like I say, somebody stole the jet engine from China. We did a test of the first jet engine in Japan or whatever. I had jet engines some other place, but there was also this jet engine that was like a group thing. I had jet engines. I had done jet engines in Germany long ago. But then some new people were coming along and they wanted to do a jet engine in Japan. So the Japanese and other group of people worked on this jet engine to make it run in Japan. Anyway, they made it run. Like I said, I had jet engines already in Germany and around. But Japan was working on a new, better jet engine. And so anyway, they made it, they built it, they test fired it. It worked great. Somebody killed everybody there and stole the jet engine and ran to what is the United States or somewhere with that jet engine and then tried to patent it and sell it as his. Anyway, I just knew about the death that they killed a lot of people, and I got reports that they had died or whatever. Anyway, I forget exactly. I think I was mildly around then, but anyway though. I was very upset, and I was like, "Where?" And I wanted the jet engine back, because like I said, it was for I mean, the Japanese were working on it for China and their people, and there was also other groups that were working on it for their people, so they could be able to have a more efficient jet engine. And I was just funding it, because like I said, I had jet engines in Germany. I had been producing little jet fighters and all kinds of things. And this new group wanted to have jet engines and wanted to produce jet engines. Anyway, this one guy stole it and then wanted to patent it, so only he could build it. And I was like, what are you, nuts? For one thing, it's my jet engine. For another thing, those people working on it, I was just sponsoring them so they could be able to build jet engines in their countries. That was my jet engine, though. And I have rights to it. Anyway, they were trying to sell it, and then so they could say that they broke the blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, that's an LS jet engine. And it was for China and Chinese and Japanese and also some British people and some other people. Anyway, apparently he wanted to build jets or something and bomb people or something. I don't know. Anyway, or make himself rich. They say it was JFK or Nixon. Anyway, somebody. Basically, they killed everybody at the test site and ran off with the prototype. It's like jet engines really aren't new. I'm sorry. We've had them for hundreds of years. We've had them for since like probably 1800. It's just that they were really expensive and I didn't have that much titanium. So anyway, they were trying to run off and create and patent it and sell it and say and make themselves rich or something. I don't really know. It's like I paid. That was my titanium that went into that jet engine, and I paid for the labor and everything, and the 3 years or of research that actually accumulated to basically build that jet engine in Japan. Anyway, eventually they found the jet engine and it was returned. And anyway, so anyway though, but it was just I don't know, it was just a more efficient type of jet engine prototype. Anyway though, and mostly it was the research and the information learned from it that was important. So anyway though, they wanted to keep it from the Japanese, and it's like Japanese worked on that, or Chinese, Orientals worked on that, and British worked on it, and some Germans worked on it. There's a group of people working on that jet engine that was stolen from Japan. So I was like, no, you're not going to restrict it. They wanted to keep the information for themselves. I was like, no, I was sponsoring it because I'm already Epic and Lucifer Star and LS, and technically I'm already really rich. So, I mean, I don't really need to, I was helping other people do jet engines because they hadn't actually ever researched it or done it themselves. And it's like, it really wasn't top secret. Anyway, yeah, so they killed about 120 people or 60 people or 200 people or something and shot their way out with a prototype to run to the United States and say that they had invented it and tried to patent it and tried to say that it was because in the old days, in around 1920, 1950, you had to actually have a working prototype to be able to patent something. Anyway, but there's a lot of problems with that because people would start working on the working prototype and then people run to the patent office. And that's why I said you had to have a working prototype and actually show the working prototype before you could get a patent for something. Because a lot of people, they would start working on the prototype and everything, and then other people would because a lot of people want to know if something's going to work. You don't want to do a patent for something and then say like, and then change it, or someone else changes it and fixes it before you, or someone works on it faster than you, and then they go patent it. And it's like, well, you've already put in all this work, and then all of a sudden, someone else is producing your invention. So anyway, there's a lot of problems with that, and that's why I changed the patent office to basically be like, no, if you want to patent something and keep it for the 5 or whatever years that a patent is good for, you have to have a working prototype and show it working. And then you can get a patent for it. And then it'll be restricted from other people being able to use that. And your company can have that for X amount of time. Otherwise, no, you can't. You can't restrict other people. You can't just go a round circle and water flows through it. I patent everything like that. It's like, you can't patent toilets. I built the first 3 like 200 years or like 100 or like 100 years, 80 years ago, and I had patents for that. So you can't do that. Anyway, and that was a problem. A lot of people were being like, a battery source and it heats up something. I patent all e-cigarettes, and that's what they were doing. They would show up with a sketch and be like, I patent this. If it looks like this, then you can't produce it. You have to pay me royalties. It's like, no. Anyway, so that's why patent office now, you need or at least it should be, you need a working prototype before it will be restricted from other people from being able to use it. So, or produce it. And that only saves you like 5 years or 10 years. That it's just enough to get your because most companies. Well, I put out a lot of research money for a lot of things. So anyway, I was just trying to protect other people that aren't LS. Anyway, so yeah.